Good day, everybody. My name is Adina Umar Olawale, and I welcome you to today's basic science class where we'll be treating the topic Earth in Space. First, the focus of today's class. This class will be focusing on four major aspects, which are the solar system, the Earth in perspective, movement of the Earth, and lastly, eclipse. To the objective of today's class. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the solar system in brief, discuss the Earth as a planet, mention and explain the movement of the Earth, and lastly, explain eclipse as a concept. With this said, what is the solar system? The solar system consists of the Sun and the 8 planets that revolves around the Sun. The Sun is in the center of the solar system, and also the Sun is the only body in the solar system that produces light and heat to the planets. This planet includes Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These make up the 8th planet. The largest of all these planets is known as Jupiter, while the closest to the Sun is Mercury. I know you are surprised. Mercury is closest to the Sun and it is very hot, meaning that Earth, that we call the hottest, is not the hottest. Rather, Mercury is very hot. This now leads us to the terminologies associated with solar system. First of which is the orbit. The orbit refers to the movement that planetary body or astronomical object move round. In other words, an orbit of a planet can be said as the pathway it takes to move around the Sun. Next terminology is the satellite or the moon. A satellite of a planet is a smaller body that moves around the planet. We can say that it is a smaller body that orbits a planet. Next is a star. A star is a planetary body that is capable of producing its own light. Sun, as you know that it generates light, is also a star. Astronomy. Astronomy is the science of studying planetary or astronomical bodies. And lastly, astronomer. An astronomer is a person who studies planetary bodies, or an astronomer is a person that studies the science of planets. With this said, we now move to the Earth in perspective. Remember, in the last objective, our solar system, I made mention that the Earth is the 3rd planet away from the Sun. Also, it has some qualities I would like to share with you. First is, it is spherical in shape. The Earth is never round, but rather spherical in shape. It supports life. As we all know, we live in Earth as well as other animals and plants. This is as a result of the fact that the Earth is said to support life. We can live on the Earth. Also, it is made up of 71% water and 29% land. I know you are surprised. Yes, the Earth is vastly occupied by water. And lastly, it has only one satellite or moon that we call the moon. This moon has so many names based on so many culture, but because it is the first moon identified in the solar system, that is why they stuck with the name moon. With this said, the movement of the Earth. Earth moves in 2 ways. First of which is rotation, and second is revolution. Rotation refers to the movement of the Earth around its axis. Axis means it is stationary at a point, but it's moving round on that same spot. And as you can see in the diagram of the rotation, we have the North and South Pole, while the Earth is moving around. Next is the revolution. It is the movement of the Earth along its orbit. I explained earlier that an orbit refers to the movement of planet around the Sun. Also, as a result of this, when the Earth moves around the Sun along its orbit, is termed as revolution. Rotation is completed once in 24 hours, meaning that in a day we have a single rotation, and this brings about day and night. While revolution is completed once in 365 1/4 days, that is a year, and it causes seasons. Last in our objective is the term eclipse. An eclipse is a situation whereby an astronomical body temporarily gets blocked as a result of passing into the shadow of another body. This brings about a partial or total darkness. We should all know that eclipse is only temporary, meaning that as time goes by, everything will normalize again. Eclipse is when a viewer cannot view another body as a result of it being blocked off by another body, and the viewer, the body he wants to view, and the other body blocking it are on the same line. Eclipse occurs in two forms, and these are eclipse of the sun or eclipse of the moon. Eclipse of the sun is otherwise known as solar eclipse, while eclipse of the moon is otherwise termed as lunar eclipse. As the diagrams depicts, eclipse of the sun involves the moon coming in between the sun and the earth, and the shadow of the moon is cast on the earth, while the lunar eclipse involves the earth coming in between the sun and the moon. In other words, arrangement, in eclipse of the sun, we have the sun, the moon, and the earth, while that of the lunar eclipse, we have the sun, the earth, and the moon. With this said, we will now look at what we have treated in this class so far, so as for us not to forget. The summary. In today's class, we discussed the solar system as the composition of the sun and the 8 planets. We talked about the Earth in perspective, that it is spherical in shape, it supports life, it is mostly made up of water, and lastly has only one satellite. Next in line, we talked about the movement of the Earth. We said it is said to be either rotation or revolution, where rotation involves moving of the Earth along its axis, while revolution is the movement of the Earth along its orbit. Rotation is completed in 24 hours. Revolution is completed in 365 1/4 days. Rotation brings about day and night, while revolution brings about seasons. And lastly, we said eclipse. We talked on eclipse, that is a situation whereby an astronomical body temporarily gets blocked off as a result of passing into the shadow of another body, and it can be solar eclipse, otherwise called eclipse of the sun, or the lunar eclipse, otherwise known as eclipse of the moon. Lastly, assignments you need to take home, so to drill you and for you to know how much you've learned in today's class. First of which is, what is solar system? B. List 4 planets in the solar system. Number 2. Mention 3 features of the Earth. Number 3. What do you understand as rotation and revolution? Number 4a. What is eclipse? And lastly, itemize the types of Eclipse. And for these, I say thank you.